Hello everyone, good evening again. It's Fenella back with another session of Mindset Mastery. Don't know whether I'm going to keep it at that name, but here I am. So today I would like to talk about that inner voice of yours. Do you notice it? Do you notice that voice? That there's a running commentary sometimes going on in your head. And if you do notice it, what's it saying? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it a bit of both? Does it talk you out of doing things? Does any of this sound familiar to you? Do you notice that inner voice? What's also called as, when it's negative, the inner critic. Anyway, what if I told you we all have it, no matter who we are? No matter how successful, no matter how confident, we're not that way always 100% of the time. Some of us, though, have a stronger inner critic than others. Some of us have that negative voice going on much more than others. So, it is common. It's normal as a human being. You know, if we're doing something new, if we've got a new job or we're learning a new skill, we may notice that inner critic a bit more when we get things wrong, when we're nervous about getting things wrong. Or perhaps if we have let our friend down, or we've had an argument, if we've been not a particularly good parent to our children and we've behaved in a way that we're not particularly happy about when we've spoken to them. Or if we procrastinate, that's another time lots of people give themselves a really hard time if they procrastinate about something. So the thing is when we let that inner critic run our lives, when we pay attention to it all of the time, when we just allow it to affect our decisions and our actions, it gets really tiring, that negative voice. It's a negative, heavy energy. And we end up feeling more stressed because we activate the stress response, and the cortisol starts coursing around our body. And it can lead us into anxious patterns. We start to run the same pattern. And we know that, here comes that inner critic, that voice again. And I'm going to start getting anxious because I can't stop it. It just happens. It just keeps running through my mind and I'm not in control of it. So here are a few things that you could do. The first thing to remember is it's natural. This is a normal, natural thing. Our inner voice, our inner critic it's there to keep us safe. It's there to protect us. See, the human brain it likes familiarity. So if we're going to be doing something new, then the human brain is there. It wants to protect us. Hi, Stephanie. It's trying to protect us from getting hurt. So it's completely a natural thing. So what we're doing is we're activating the fight, flight or freeze response. And the human brain wants to keep us safe. The emotional brain is activated, but the problem is if we keep doing it, our prefrontal cortex, our analytical brain, our brain that makes rational decisions, can't connect. So we kind of get stuck in that pattern of the inner critic and paying attention to it. And what it does is it stops us from trying new things. It can really hold us back. So as I said, is notice it. And when you notice it doing something critical, saying something critical to you, is get into the habit of checking in with it and saying, is that true? Is there any truth in what my inner critic is saying to me? And what I always suggest is, if you've got a real habit of doing it, is when you notice it, write that thing down that you're saying to yourself. And then write down what is really true, all of the opposites to that. critical thing you're saying to yourself. So, for example, if you say, "Oh, I'm a bad friend," is write that down. If you've let your friend down, write it down, and then write down all the times that you've actually been a really good friend, because it's a really good way to reinforce and remind yourself that actually what is happening, what you're saying to yourself, is really not true. So question the truth and the validity of that inner critic, especially if you do it habitually. The other thing is, if you procrastinate, it's really important to forgive yourself. It's been evidence to show that if people forgive themselves for procrastinating, it actually does help, especially students. It helps to spur them into action, because the process of procrastinating and criticising yourself for it just makes you end up feeling worse and worse and procrastinating even more. It's a crazy thing, but that's how our mind works. So forgive yourself for your inner critic, and that will hopefully spur you into action if you've been procrastinating. Another thing you could do is consider how you talk to a friend. Would you talk to a friend like you talk to yourself? And you've probably heard this many times before, but this is exactly what we do. We are harshest on ourselves, and we would never speak to our friends the way that we would speak to ourselves. Well, at least I hope you wouldn't. So it's kind of then step out of yourself and think, okay, how would I speak to a friend about this particular situation? Another thing you could do is make fun of the voice. Give it a name. Give your inner critic a name. Make a joke of it. Give it a funny voice. Make it sound like Donald Duck. So when you're criticising yourself, turn it into a silly voice. Have a bit of fun with it. Lighten it up. This is all called something, this is all about reframing things. Because when we can start to reframe things and look at them in a different way, it actually helps us get away from the pattern that we may have formed. And it actually helps us to step out of that place of listening to our inner critic. So those are a few ways that you could change the way that you deal with that critical voice when it pops up, whether it pops up on a regular basis. It's also important to remember that a powerful inner critic often comes from childhood or terrible, bad experiences in life, or from being bullied at work. And what happens is we create limiting beliefs in our minds, and we believe that we're not good enough. So that's another topic that for another day, because I want to talk about limiting beliefs and limiting decisions that we make that really hold us back. But they are as a response, our inner critic is as a response of those limiting beliefs we often have. But that's a topic for another day, as I said. So anyway, love to know what you think. Please put some comments in below, and I will be back again very soon. Hopefully tomorrow I will come on again. And if you really like this, please go along and like my page, Above Beyond Coaching on Facebook, and also join my group, Magnificent Minds, for all things mindset, tips, confidence, and getting out of your way. That's all for tonight. Have a great rest of the day.